So we have discussed mesomeric effect of two type. One is plus M effect, plus R effect, and one is minus M effect or minus R effect. When the atom having lone pair, at least one lone pair, and it is attached to the conjugated system, then we called as plus M group or plus R group. For example, we can see OR in case of NH3, NH2 again lone pair on nitrogen atom, therefore it will also behave as plus M. Now there is lone pair on oxygen atom, so it also behave as plus M. As there lone pair on nitrogen atom, so it will also behave as plus M or plus R group. See, as we can see that here carbon and oxygen X and Y, and electronegativity of Y, because oxygen atom, so electronegativity of Y is more than X, therefore it will behave as minus M group. Now see, C triple bond N, X and Y, electronegativity of Y, which is nitrogen, more than X, so it also behave as minus M or minus R group. Now we can see that there is positive charge on carbon atom, so there is vacant orbital, and if there is vacant orbital, we can say this group will behave as minus M group. Now again, there is vacant orbital on the boron atom, so vacant orbital is present, therefore it also behave as minus M or minus R group. Now see the application of plus M and minus M groups. What is the application of plus M and minus M group? See, basically if plus M group is attached with benzene ring, so basically if plus M group is attached with benzene ring, then plus M effect increase the electron density. Plus M effect increases electron density in the benzene ring at ortho and para position. So basically plus M effect increases electron density in benzene ring at ortho and para position, while the minus M effect decrease electron density in the benzene ring at ortho and para position. So plus M effect increases electron density in benzene at ortho and para, and minus M effect decreases electron density in benzene at ortho and para. Now we can see that when OH group is attached with the benzene ring, we can see on oxygen atom there is lone pair of electron. Therefore, when the atom having lone pair attached to the benzene ring, so this OH group is a plus M group. Therefore, due to this group, electron density increases at ortho and para position. Now see the next case. Again, the atom which is attached to the benzene ring having lone pair. Due to this group will behave as plus M. But after donation of electron pair, there will be positive charge on nitrogen atom. So aniline can show both types of effect, plus M and also minus I. But in case of this, plus M effect is more powerful as compared to minus I. So basically we can say plus M is more dominant than minus I, because inductive effect is partial shifting of electron, while plus M is complete delocalization of electron. So there are two types of effect in NH2, plus M and minus I, but plus M is more powerful as compared to minus I. Now see the next case. The next case is again, see again we can see there the atom which is attached to the benzene ring having lone pair. So we can say this group will behave as plus M. But after donation of electron pair, there will be positive charge on oxygen atom, so it can behave as minus I group also. So it can behave as minus I group also. So basically we can say that it can behave as both plus M and minus I, but the plus M effect of this group is stronger than the minus I. So we can say due to plus M, the electron density increases at ortho and para position. Now see the next. In next case again, the atom which is attached we called plus M group, and it can behave as both plus M and minus I, but plus M is powerful with respect to minus I, so it is ortho para directing group. Now see next. The next case is benzene is attached with NH3+. So this we called anilinium ion. because on nitrogen there is no electron pair. Because on nitrogen there is no electron pair, therefore it cannot behave as plus M group. So it can behave only as minus I group, because the positive charge on nitrogen is unstable. Therefore it can behave as only minus I group. So basically nitrogen has already 4 bonds, and nitrogen cannot form more than 4 bonds. So we can say there is no availability of lone pair, and also no vacant orbital is present. So only minus I effect will be shown by this ion. Now see the next. Again, when benzene is attached to CH3 group, it will show plus I effect and hyperconjugation. So plus I and plus H effect will be shown by the toluene. No lone pair, therefore it will not show plus M effect. Now see the next. The next is, we can see X, Y, and electronegativity of Y is more than X. So it can behave as both minus M and minus I, but minus M is stronger than minus I. Now see the next. This case is very important. When there is haloarine, we can see lone pair is present, so it can behave as plus M, but it can show also minus I. But in case of haloarines, the minus I effect is more powerful than plus M. Now see the next case. Again we can see the group attached X, Y. We can see electronegativity of Y is more than X. Therefore it can show minus M. It can show minus M and minus I, and its minus M is more powerful than minus I. Now see the next. In the next, again nitrogen X, oxygen Y. Electronegativity of Y is more than X, so it can show minus M and minus I, but minus M is more powerful with respect to minus I. Now we will see the electron density in the benzene ring. The electron density in the benzene ring due to plus M and minus M. How it varies. So the next topic is electron density in benzene. As we can see, the group attached with benzene ring is CH3. Is plus I group in nature, and also plus H. Hyperconjugation it can also show. So basically plus H and plus I group increase the electron density in the benzene ring. So we can say due to plus H and plus I, both are releasing group nature, so they increase the electron density in the benzene ring. Now see, again we can see OH group is plus M, and its plus M is powerful with respect to minus I. So plus M is electron donating in the nature, so we can say it also increases the electron density. Now see the next. We can see when chlorine is attached, it can show plus M and minus I, but minus I is stronger. But in case of halogen, minus I is stronger than plus M. So we can see due to minus I, electron density will decrease in the benzene ring. Now see the next. Again NO2. In case of NO2, we can see minus M and minus I, both effect can be shown, but minus M is more powerful, and we know minus M decreases the electron density. Minus M decreases the electron density. So basically we can say electron density order. Electron density order is most electron density is present in case of phenol, because plus M increases the electron density with more power with respect to plus M and plus H. So the most electron density is present in case of B. Then again it also increases electron density, but the plus H and plus I powerful is less powerful with respect to plus M. So then A and Cl and NO2 decreases the electron density, but in Cl there is minus I effect, and in NO2 there is minus M effect. Mesomeric effect is always powerful, so it will decrease the electron density with more power. Therefore least electron density in case of D, and then C. Now see the next question. As we can see, in this case benzene attached with oxygen CO double bond CH3. Again in this case lone pair group is attached, so plus M group, and we know plus M group increases the electron density. While here we can see C double bond O is attached. It is minus M group in nature, we have already discussed. So minus M group decreases electron density. So we can say electron density is directly proportional to plus M plus H and plus I, and inversely proportional to minus M, minus H and minus I. So basically electron density increases when plus M group is present, and plus H and plus I, and decreases when minus M, minus H and minus I. And order is also, electron density increases more with plus M, so priority order for plus M is more, then plus H and then plus I. In the same way for minus M, minus H and minus I. So plus M increases electron density, therefore electron density in A is more than B. See the next. The next is again we can see Cn is minus M, CH3 is plus I, NH2 is plus M. So we can see plus M increases the electron density, therefore the most electron density in case of C, and plus I also increases electron density, then B, while minus M decreases electron density, therefore A. Now we will discuss our next topic, which is aromaticity. See, what is aromaticity? As we know, benzene is also an aromatic compound. Benzene is also an aromatic compound. See the properties of an aromatic compound. Basically, the properties of aromatic compound is, aromatic compound should be cyclic. So first condition is aromatic compound should be cyclic. Now see the next property. The atoms which are in the cyclic system, aromatic compound should be cyclic, and the atoms which are in cyclic system must be planar, and all the atoms have p orbital, and all the atoms must have p orbital which is parallel to each other and form a conjugated system. So three conditions we have studied for aromatic compound. Compound should be cyclic, atom which are in cyclic system must be planar, and all atoms have p orbital which is parallel to each other and form a conjugated system. And also for aromatic system, total number of electrons in a cyclic ring must be 4n plus 2 pi electrons. So basically total number of electrons in a cyclic ring must be 4n plus 2 pi electrons. See, when n is equal to 0, then it is 2 pi electron. When n equal to 1, 6 pi electron. When n equal to 2, 10 pi electron. When n equal to 3, 14 pi electron. So basically this rule we call Huckel rule. So we have discussed about the properties of aromatic compound. Compound should be cyclic, and the atoms which are in cyclic system must be planar. All atoms must have p orbital which is parallel to each other and form conjugated system. Total number of pi electron must be 4n plus 2 pi. When we put n equal to 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, so 2 pi, 6 pi, 10 pi and 14 pi electrons. So basically see the Huckel rule for the compound to be aromatic. Huckel rule for the compound to be aromatic. As we can see, it should be cyclic. Aromatic compound should be cyclic, planar. It should be cyclic, planar and conjugated system. It should be cyclic, planar and conjugated system, and having 4n plus 2 pi electron present in conjugation. So this aromatic system is highly stable system. If these conditions are fulfilled, cyclic, planar, conjugated system with 4n plus 2 pi electron, then the system will be highly stable system, and these types of system is defined as aromatic system. So first system we have discussed aromatic system. Now we will discuss the anti-aromatic. All conditions of aromatic and anti-aromatic system are same except one. So the condition of pi electron in the cyclic ring changes. In aromatic system there is 4n plus 2 pi electron in the ring, but in case of anti-aromatic system the number of electrons in the ring is 4 pi electrons, 4n pi only. Now see, as aromatic is highly stable, anti-aromatic is highly unstable. So basically now we are discussing about the anti-aromatic system. Aromatics are highly stable while anti-aromatic are highly unstable system. See, anti-aromatic system also cyclic, and atoms must have conjugated system, and also atoms must be planar, in cyclic system. But anti-aromatic system must have how many electrons? 4n pi electrons in the ring. When n equal to 1, then 4 pi electrons. When n equal to 2, then 8 pi electrons. When n equal to 3, then 12 pi electrons. So anti-aromatic is highly unstable. Now we discuss about the next system, which is non-aromatic system. See what is non-aromatic system. So basically non-aromatic system is what? If system is non-cyclic, system which are non-cyclic. So basically if system is non-cyclic, then atoms will not perform resonance. If atom is non-cyclic, if the system is non-cyclic, then atoms do not perform resonance, and also they do not perform conjugation and resonance. So basically if system is non-cyclic, then atoms do not perform resonance and conjugation. Now discuss the stability of this system. So stability of this system is basically, we can see aromatic are most stable system and anti-aromatic least stable system, while the stability of non-aromatic is in between aromatic and anti-aromatic. Now we have some compounds. We will explain the aromatic, anti-aromatic and non-aromatic behavior of this compound. See the first compound. As in first compound we can see this compound is basically cyclopropane. First check the condition of cyclic. The compound is cyclic. Now check the planar. As we can see, the hybridization of this carbon is sp2 and the hybridization of this carbon is sp2, while the hybridization of this carbon is sp3. Therefore the system is non-planar. The system is not planar. So system is not planar, and we can see there is also the system is non-conjugated. System is non-conjugated because pi bond, sigma bond and then sigma bond. So we can say system is not conjugated. So cyclic system not planar. Why system is not planar? Because one carbon is of sp3 hybridization, and we can see system is not conjugated, and we know if a system is not planar, then it is non-aromatic. So we don't need to calculate number of pi electrons in this case. See, so as we can see that no need to calculate the number of pi electrons in this case because this is non-aromatic. Now see the next. In next case we can see this is the cyclic system. Cyclic system, sp2 carbon, sp2 carbon, sp2 carbon. So it is planar. Also positive charge single double, condition of resonance fulfilled. So it is a conjugated system. Cyclic system, planar system, conjugated system. Now see the result. As we can see number of pi electrons in this ring. So number of pi electrons are, we can see in the ring how many pi electrons? Only one pi bond. So 2 electrons in this bond. Therefore 2 pi electrons. So when there is 2 pi electrons, number of pi electrons is 2. So we can say this system is aromatic system. This system is aromatic system. Now see next. The next system is, we can see this is the compound. This compound is cyclic and planar also because hybridization of each carbon atom. This is cyclic and planar because all atoms are in a cycle, and planar because hybridization of each atom is sp2, and this is also conjugated system, lone pair single double. So conjugated system, and result as we can see in this system, this electron pair is in resonance with the ring because lone pair single double. So this electron is also a part of ring. When this electron is a part of ring, then number of pi electrons in the ring is 1, 2, 3, 4. So basically when number of electrons is 4n pi, because n is 1, then it is 4 pi electron. So we call this system as anti-aromatic system. So this is anti-aromatic system. 2 pi, 6 pi, 10 pi electron, then aromatic. 4 pi, 8 pi, 12 pi, then it is anti-aromatic. Now we have to compare the following compounds. Is it aromatic, non-aromatic or anti-aromatic? See the first compound. In the first compound we can see this compound is basically we can see positive single double, so cyclic system is there, and also hybridization is sp2 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 sp2, cyclic system, and also planar, positive single double, so it is conjugated system. Therefore number of pi electron in the ring is only 2 pi electron, so it is aromatic in nature. Now see the next. In next we can see the atom, this one atom and this one atom is sp3 hybridized carbon, and we know if sp3 carbon is present, then it is non-planar, and aromatic and anti-aromatic systems are planar, while non-aromatic is non-planar. So basically this compound is non-aromatic, we don't need to check any condition because this compound is non-planar, so it is non-aromatic. Now see the next question. In the next question we can see free radical single double. So basically this free radical is a part of resonance. Therefore number of pi electrons in the ring is 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. When 5 pi electrons, then 5 pi electron not belongs to aromatic and also not belong to aromatic, anti-aromatic. So 5 pi electron do not belong to aromatic and anti-aromatic, so it is a type of non-aromatic system. Now see the next. As we can see cyclic system, also hybridization of each carbon is sp2, so planar, plus charge single double, so it is conjugated system, and in the ring how many electrons are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, so 4 pi electron, so due to 4 pi the system is anti-aromatic. Now see the next question. In next question we can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it is a cyclic system and also conjugated system, because lone pair single double, so it is a conjugated system, and in the ring how many pi electrons are there? 2 to 4 to 6 pi electron, cyclic and planar and conjugated system. When there is 6 pi electron, then the system is aromatic. Now see the next question. As in this question we can see one carbon atom is sp3 and one carbon atom is sp3, then it is non-planar. If one of the carbon atom is sp3, then it is non-planar, then it is non-aromatic due to presence of sp3 carbon. Now see again, this carbon is sp3 in nature, and if one of the atom in the cycle is sp3, then it is 100% non-aromatic. Now see the next question. We can see positive charge single, double, single and lone pair. So basically this system is a conjugated system, sp2 carbon, sp2 carbon, sp2 carbon, because this lone pair is involved in the resonance, so oxygen atom also sp2. So this system is planar. Now count the number of pi electron in the ring. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 pi electrons in the ring, therefore the system is aromatic. Cyclic system, planar system, conjugated system and 6 pi electron. 4n plus 2 pi condition fulfilled, therefore the compound is aromatic. The next topic we are going to discuss is hyperconjugation. See, hyperconjugation, we know hyperconjugation we also call sigma pi resonance. Hyperconjugation also called as sigma pi resonance. Also we called it no bond resonance. So basically hyperconjugation system is applied in alkenes, alkynes, carbocations and free radicals. So hyperconjugation is also called no bond resonance. This is sigma pi conjugation, also we call no bond resonance. And hyperconjugation we apply in alkene, alkynes, carbocations and free radicals. Now see how hyperconjugation is explained. As we can see, basically in case of hyperconjugation, the system is alkene, this is sp2 carbon, and the carbon which is connected to sp2 carbon we call alpha carbon. If this carbon is sp3 carbon, so if a sp3 carbon is attached with sp2 carbon, we call this carbon as alpha carbon, and the number of hydrogens present on this alpha carbon we call alpha hydrogen. So basically in hyperconjugation what happens? The alpha carbon hydrogen bond breaks, alpha carbon and hydrogen bond breaks. So hydrogen bond breaks, it changes into H plus. so H plus ion free. Now the electron pair of this bond will shift in between these two carbon atoms. At the same time, this bond will break. So one of the alpha hydrogen of carbon breaks into H plus ion. As we can see, after loss of proton, the system become a part of resonance. But before loss of proton, the system is not in the resonance. So after loss of proton, system is in resonance. Therefore we call no bond resonance. When there is no bond between carbon and hydrogen, then there is resonance. So hyperconjugation we also call no bond resonance. So basically the shortcut we use in the hyperconjugation is there must be sp3 carbon attached with sp2 carbon. This carbon we call alpha carbon, and hydrogen attached with alpha carbon we call alpha hydrogens. So condition for hyperconjugation is there must be sp3 hybridized carbon connected to sp2 hybridized carbon. See, this is sp2 carbon, this is also sp2 carbon. Now see, this is alpha carbon, sp3 carbon, alpha carbon, sp3 carbon, alpha carbon, alpha carbon. 4 alpha carbons and 3 alpha hydrogens are there on each carbon atom. So how many alpha hydrogens are present? 12 alpha hydrogens are present. So how many hyperconjugated structures are there? So basically number of hyperconjugative structures is equal to number of alpha hydrogen. Now see the next. This is sp2 carbon. This is also sp2 carbon. But this sp2 carbon, 2 sp3 carbons are attached. And on these 2 sp3 carbons, 3 alpha hydrogens, 3 alpha hydrogens. So basically how many alpha hydrogens are there? 6 alpha hydrogens are there. And we know how many alpha hydrogens will be the number of hyperconjugative structures. So how many hyperconjugative structures are there? 6. Now see the next. The next is we can see number of alpha hydrogens, sp2 carbon, sp2 carbon. So the alpha carbon, alpha carbon, alpha carbon, alpha carbon. 2 alpha hydrogens, 2 alpha, 2 alpha, 2 alpha. So basically we can see how many alpha hydrogens are there? 2, 2, 4 and 2, 6 and 2, 8. So basically how many alpha hydrogens are there? 8 alpha hydrogens are there. So how many hyperconjugate structures? 8 hyperconjugate structures. Now see the next. As we can see again, sp2 carbon, sp2 carbon, sp3, 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 sp3. So we can see 3 alpha hydrogens, 3 alpha hydrogens, 2 alpha hydrogen, 2 alpha hydrogen. So total 10 alpha hydrogens are there. Now see the next. In this we can see sp2 carbon, sp2 carbon. With respect to this is alpha carbon and this is also alpha carbon. This is sp3, it is also sp3, but there is no alpha hydrogen. Because 2 carbon carbon and this is also CH3 group. So alpha hydrogen 0 here, but here alpha hydrogens are 2. So total number of alpha hydrogen is 2. Now see the next. In next we can see this is sp2, this is sp2 carbon, but alpha hydrogen 0 and here also alpha hydrogen 0. So total number of alpha hydrogen is 0. So basically when we discuss the stability of alkene, by using hyperconjugation, so the stability of alkene is directly proportional to number of alpha hydrogen atom. It means if there is more number of alpha hydrogen atom, means that alkene will be more stable. And also remember now as we have discussed all effects, one effect we have discussed resonance, one is hyperconjugation and one is inductive. So the dominant effect is resonance effect. The most dominant effect is resonance, then hyperconjugation, then inductive. So first priority is given to resonance, then to hyperconjugation and then to inductive. So basically we will do some questions on the basis of stability of alkene. So basically stability of alkene we know directly proportional to the number of alpha hydrogens, and basically if more number of alpha hydrogens, so alpha hydrogens basically we will count by hyperconjugation by hyperconjugation. So more number of alpha hydrogen atoms means that alkene will be more stable.